Okay guys, so this is 2013 paper 2 question 5. The solid cylinder has a radius of 10 millimeters and a height of 45 millimeters. Draw a sketch of the net of the surface of the cylinder and write its dimensions on the sketch. Okay, so what I want you to be familiar with is that a cylinder is two circular ends met with a, that's not as a net by the way, that is just a generic diagram as opposed to its net. Okay, so there we are here. Now if we unravel this, what we should get is a circle on the top and on the bottom, two identical circles. I'm running out of space obviously. Okay, and then in between the two of them I'm going to get a what, guys? Rectangle. Now it'd be handy if I managed to fit that in somehow. So have a rectangle there, and there we go. Okay, there's my net. So I fold the rectangular section in on itself to make the two circular edges, and a circle here, a circle there. That's pretty good. Now, does it give me anything about the dimensions? Height of 4.5, 45. So 45 mils from here to here. This has a radius of 10 mils. Okay, and same thing on the bottom, radius of 10 mils. Now, the one thing we haven't marked is how long is it from here to here. Has to be the same as the circumference of a circle. Basically, this red line here, the two red lines are equal to each other. They have to match up so that the cylinder covers every part of the circle. Okay? So what we gotta do is we gotta do L equals 2 pi r. L on the calculator, 2 pi times 10 mils. Just give it to me in nearest millimeter. Sorry? Yeah, 62.8 or 63. Okay, 62.8 millimeters from here to here. Everybody happy enough with that? Okay. Now, I'm not exactly the scale, am I? No. So you might be a bit more wary that overall, maybe you might be talking a bit more like that's 60, and it should be 6 times bigger than the. Should be about 3 times as large. So you might be a bit more aware. It's a bit more like this size here. You happy enough with that? So just try and do it the best you can. So my comparatively speaking, my circles are quite large. Okay. Now moving on. Calculate the volume of your cylinder, given in terms of pi. 3 marks. Okay. 3 marks. Please take some. It's a cylinder. You're looking for the volume. Therefore, you're going to use the equation of the volume of a cylinder. Keep it in terms of pi. Use the pi button on your calculator. Radius is 10 squared. Your height is 45. And what you get there? (4,500 pi centimeters). I say millimeters cubed. Okay. Next one. A sphere has the same volume as the cylinder. Find the surface area of the sphere. That's the second part. Okay? Surface, you have a sphere. The sphere has some radius. We don't know the radius, do we? Of the new sphere. But we know that its area is 4 pi r squared. We need to find out the radius in order to get the area. Okay? We go back to the start of the question. The information is the sphere has the same volume as the cylinder. So what you write down is volume of a sphere equals 4,500 pi. What's the volume of a sphere? After that, you can multiply, bring up the 3 times 4,500, divided by the 4, and that equals r cubed. So what's r cubed equal to? Just the calculation on the right. 3375. This means when the radius is multiplied by itself 3 times, it gives you that number. So what you'll need to do is you need a button that does the opposite. You see this button here, shift, that button there. 3 times this number is used and it makes 3375. The answer for this is 15. Now, most people would stop, a lot of people would stop here. And what's the problem with stopping there? Huh? Haven't found the surface area yet. So go back to this equation here. A equals 4 pi times 15 squared. A equals 900 pi millimeters cubed. Are we okay with that? Okay. Is there another question after that? Okay. So this is the 2012 paper 1 question 9b. Okay, we have garden slabs. Each slab measures 40 by 20. Okay, the slabs are arranged to form a rectangular paved area. There's X slabs along one side, Y slabs along the other side. Write down the length of the perimeter in centimeters in terms of X and Y. 40, 40, 40, and you do this X times. Okay, is your so what we get is it happens X times, so it'll be 40X because it's X is the number of slabs you put that way, multiplied by the length of each slab, and the other one will be 20Y going down that way. Okay, 2012 paper 1 question 9b. Okay, now once this is done, we need to find the length of the perimeter in centimeters. The perimeter is, add them all together, it's going to be 40X plus another 40X plus a 20Y plus another 20Y, which is 80X plus 40Y is the perimeter. Okay. The material used for the edging means that the perimeter is to be 64 meters. Find Y in terms of X. How would you do that now? What's it telling you here? What's it telling you right there? P equals 64. So 80X plus 40Y equals 64. Which letter does it want on its own? Huh? Nope. Y in terms of X. So get Y on its own. 40Y equals 64 minus 80X. Y equals 64 minus 80X all over 40. Should be grand. Oops. Made a mistake, made a mistake, made a mistake, made a mistake. Anybody know what mistake I made? One of them's in meters, the other one's in. So be so careful with that. They're really into mixing those units up. Centimeters, meters, millimeters, centimeters. They really go after that. Then we can divide 6,400 divided by 40, 160. 80x divided by 40, 2x. 160 minus 2x is the y value. Okay. Now we can move on. Find the value of x for which the paved area is large as possible. What does large as possible mean? Give me another word for that. Maximum. Back in 2012 they wouldn't even give you the key word. These days they say maximum, last 2 or 3 years, but 2012, large as possible, you got a twig, that means maximum. Okay? Now, the worst thing about this is, when you go back to your original back here, that's this here. That's the that's what we're talking about, the length and the width we're talking about. Okay? So the length and width we're talking about is 40x and 20y. What's the area of this, guys? We're talking about area. What's the area of that there rectangle? Sorry? 40x. Yeah, 40x times 20y, which is? Now, area equals 800 xy. We prefer one letter over two, wouldn't we? xy is 2 letters. Is there any way we could just get it in terms of x? What was the last thing we did? The very last question. Very last question. Y in terms of x. So if we substitute that y for that part in x, we can get an equation. Okay? So what we do next is we replace equals 800 x times, was it? 160 minus 2x. Your area equals, get this, okay. Yeah, it's pretty big, isn't it? On a really basic level, is it a U-shaped or an N-shaped graph? You're telling me it's N-shaped. How can you tell me that's N-shaped? The x squared. So what also we're zooming in on is this is the x squared value, and it's negative. Positive x squared is U-shaped. Negative n squared is negative x squared is N-shaped. So on a really basic level, your area is going to be here. There's going to be an N-shaped function. X is on the x-axis. So as x increases in value, you'll eventually come across a maximum, and then it'll go back down again, won't it? When you guys freeze in an exam, you want to get points on the board, what do I suggest you do? What? More specifically, what part of the calculator? What part? Table function. What do I write for my formula? 120x, yeah. Take away. Okay. Now, should I start at a minus number? X is a length, so it has to be starting at 0. Where should I end? Don't know. Go for 100, go up in 5, see what happens. Now let me explain what's happening. Do you see these numbers here? That means 1.9 by 10 to the 6, 2.2 by 10 to the 6. Do you see the maximum? 2.5 by 10 to the 6, 2.5 by 10 to the 6, and then 2.4 by 10 to the 6, 2.2 by 10 to the 6, 1.9 by 10 to the 6. Is it going up or down? It's going down at the moment, and then it goes negative. So, in between, somewhere in between 35 and 45, your maximum area occurred, right? So, what we're going to do is what we always do. What's the thing about turning points? Slope is 0. How would you find the slope when you already know the graph? Differentiate the graph, or the equation of the graph. So you're going to differentiate the equation of this graph. What you call the left side? dA. Differentiate the formula A. It's expressed in terms of x, so you're differentiating A using x, is what that means. What's the answer then? 128,000, yeah? Minus 3,200 equals 0. 3,200x equals 128,000. What? Okay. You bring that over to your side. 3,200x equals 128,000. Same thing. Divide by 3,200. And what do we get? X equals 40. Okay. Find the number of slabs needed to pave this maximum area. Ooh, that's tough. Number of slabs needed to pave this area. Okay, we can do it two ways, okay? I can show you now. Oh, sorry, x equals 40. X isn't a measurement, it's how many slabs you used along. X can't be 40 centimeters, by the way. X is just 40 because it represents how many slabs you fit across the right. So look at this, okay? Earlier in the question we had the diagram, and the diagram was back here. Okay, let's rub out all this gibberish for a minute, except that part because I need that part. Just rub out this stuff here, okay? It says X slabs across, so how much is that? 40 slabs across. Then we have an equation for Y. That tells us what? Tells us how to get the Y value using X. Y equals 160 minus 2 times. What's the X value? The Y value is 80. We fit 80 slabs down and 40 slabs across. So 80 down, 40 across. How many slabs is that in total? 3,200. 80 slabs down, 40 slabs across, 3,200. And there you go.